now is Hariss, and you're here to talk about a comedy event you have that's an event to raise funds for against domestic violence. So tell me a little bit about this. You're from, it's a university group that's put this together.
Yeah, it's a University of Regina group that we found last year, and then we have done multiple fundraiser shows for the local community. And this is our first annual show, which is called Stand Up Against Domestic Violence. And we're just raising funds for a local shelter here, and at the same time creating more awareness about this issue in Saskatchewan, in our local community.
And when you said this is the first annual, but you've done other events. So this is the first annual event for domestic violence, but you've done events for other charitable causes.
Yeah, that's true. This is our first annual domestic violence one, but we have done a lot of other shows for different organization, charitable organization here in Regina. Our first show was for Salvation Army. It was for stand up for the welfare. It was stand up for the homeless people of Saskatchewan. And this is this last year. Was our second show that our group organized, stand up against domestic violence. And after that, we did for Creative Kids, one for Red Cross, one for Regina Humane Society, and one for Terry Fox and Canadian Cancer Society.
Wow. So now focusing on this one, why did you pick domestic violence?
The reason why we chose this topic or theme, because this is something we don't talk generally in our public, and it's something more like a very uncommon subject to talk about at a public level. So the reason why we chose it, so we encourage people to break the silence and get help. At the same time, creating awareness about this issue, that you're not alone. There's a lot of other people, unfortunately, are there. They need help. So it's more creating awareness, at the same time raising funds using our comedy talent, Saskatchewan.
And you're a comedian yourself.
Yeah, I'm also a comedian, and I'll be hosting this event.
And you created this group as well. Why did you decide to create a group? It's interesting that university students would be doing this. So tell me a little bit about that.
That's a very good question, actually. I always wanted to do something for the local community using the talent. Thanks to my parents for teaching me something to help others, right? So that was the teaching of my parents. And last year when I was reading, it was one fine morning, I was reading a leader post, and I read an article about a homeless person in Saskatchewan. He's struggling. And that's when I decided I have to do something for for the people out there. So that was one of the driving factor, I would say. So our group got together, I got my friends, my good friends together, and we made a group, and then we did our first show, which was Stand Up for the Homeless People of Saskatchewan. And that was a very good event. The turnout was really good, and we raised close to $1,000 from this show.
That's great.
And then people did appreciate it, and they encouraged us to keep doing shows. And then we got a great support from our local community, and then since then we never stopped.
Wow. And this event, who have you got coming out to perform at this event? It's stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah, it's a comedy. We got local comedians, most of my good friends are there, comedians as well. So using the local Regina talent, and the headliner is Annie Brass. She's from Aboriginal community, and then so the main focus of this show is as well, we want to create a culture diversity. So we have different comics from different ethnicities, so representing their culture.
That's great.
And we do have a Latin American dance group. So they will be performing as well. So it's more like a culture of pre-mosaic event, I would say.
A comedic version.
Comedic version, right? Yeah. And so there will be a bunch of other comedians beside myself.
And where is it taking place?
This is going to be at Doubletree by Hilton. They were very kind to donate the venue, and they're great people to work with. And it's going to be on June 1st, which is Sunday, and the doors open at 6 o'clock, and the event starts at 7, and it's at Doubletree by Hilton.
Okay, and the price is?
That's a good question.
I think you said, it's 15 and 20, is that right?
15 advance and 20 at the door. And the funds that we're raising, they will be silent auction as well. So the funds that we raise will be donated to Safe Haven Shelters in Fort Capel.
So tell me a little bit about that, about the Safe Haven Shelter.
One of my friend, Lonnie, she was helped by that shelter back in when she was going through this unfortunate event in her life, being a victim of domestic violence. So I was talking to her. She suggested me that's one of the good organizations. I mean, there's a lot of good organizations out there, but she had a personal touch with them, and then then she recommended I should, do my research, and that's when our group we picked up that organization. So they're located in Fort Capel, and I was there last week, and I found that they're doing a really good job for the local community in Fort Capel, helping the victims and providing them services that they need. And it's a very good organization, so that's the reason we chose this time to donate our funds to that organization.
So tell me a little bit about how you pick organizations, because you've done a range of different things. Do you have sort of themes you use throughout the year, or?
We kind of go with what's going on in our local community, right? Like I mean, it's a student group, so we come together, we see what's going on, we suggest the topics or the themes that we should work for, and then we see which organization is, you know, actively involved in the community, helping the people, and then we decide, like, oh, we should, you know, like say we did a show for Regina Humane Societies, and they're very good at their job, like helping the it's an animal shelter, so. So that's the reason we chose them. So we don't have any guidelines. We just go who's doing and what's going on in the city and our local community of Saskatchewan.
Tell me about your group. So it's university students. That's got to be a little bit difficult to be running something like this while you're going to school. So how does your group operate?
It's quite difficult, actually. There's a bunch of people involved in our group, and you know, some of them are from business faculty, and some of them from journalism. And so it's like a student group. So we do everything from scratch. We don't get any government funding. What we do, we go to companies, local companies, local businesses, and then we explain what we do. We do presentations, and we explain what we're doing and what we have done in the past. And since we have a very good profile, and because we've done a lot of shows, and then it's kind of hard to get fundings, but once we get the funding, then we put the show, then we look for talents, especially local talents, and we promote them as well. And so it's a lot of work, like when you go to school and putting a charity show, and then work, you know,
a number of charity shows. Yeah.
Number of charity shows, and like on average, we do get it's a good turnout. Like on average, we are getting around like 150 and plus people show there. So
that's
great. Which is really good, and we're all passionate about doing something for our local community.
And a lot of the students, are they using their skills? So journalism students using their communication skills, and are they using their skills to support to promote?
So what we do, we just, you know, as there's a lot of people donate their time and talent, like journalism students or like business faculty students that we are involved. They just they use their talent, what they learn at school, and, you know, help them the local community. And we use the like local Regina talent as well to promote them as well. And like most of them, they will donate their time, and then we'll help them day. And it's a DoubleTree by Hilton, and the door opens at 6 o'clock, and the event starts at 7, and it goes till around 9:30ish. So we have a comedy show, as you know, and a fundraiser, and a silent auction on the side as well. And there's some good items to bid on, actually. And the tickets are available online as well. You can buy online through that website. And if somebody needs more information, they can go check our Facebook event page and use the hashtag June1show. So it's June1show, all one word. And they can get more information. Or, you know, like I'm on Facebook. My ID is a Hariss Comedian Con. So they can get a hold of me if they want to donate some items for our silent auction, or they have any question about our show.
And is it likely to sell out? 150 people in, you know, a smaller room. Could you sell out on this? Do people should be buying in
most
advance?
of our shows were sold out in the past. So we are
so if you're wanting to come out, you should buy soon.
Buy soon, otherwise, you know, then don't text me. That's what a lot of my friends would do. They will buy the ticket. They will text me on the day, hey, can we come? And I was like, oh, we don't have tickets. And I'm like, come on, you're my friend. I was like, okay, back door.
Okay, so if people are wanting to come, they should be on the line.
I would recommend to buy the tickets in advance rather than texting me an hour before the show.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. It sounds like a great event.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm glad that you guys are supporting our local charity event.
Oh, thank you. And we'll be right back with singer-songwriter Roxy Lenton.